Hey guys, just giving you an update on PicoMol. I have just finished all the features for version 0.1, and I'll run those through with you now. We've also got a new logo for the project and a few more dependencies. So once again, I'll open up the project. When I actually release this version, I'm hoping to get a package version out for Windows in an exe form, a DMG for Mac, and I'm hoping to get it on the AUR for Linux and for other Linux distributions. You can follow the instructions and run it on your own system because Python comes pre-installed. I'm also going to get rid of the headless. So what we have is we have an improved welcome screen. Excuse the boxes again, that's my own font as opposed to the program's fault. There we go. So on first glance, it looks pretty similar. I can, fetch a PDB file. Let's do 4HHB again. But as you saw, it fetched comprehensive metadata. So there, I can go to the Show PDB Information tab, and it brings up the metadata pulled from the PDB, including the DOI, the journal, the title of the PDB page, the authors, and any parameters here, and a full metadata file, any sequences, and the download path, which for me is -home, -my name, -PicoMol, -data, -pool structures, and the PDB file itself, and when it was downloaded. So if I go into the bioinformatics tab, you can see I've got two new working features. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that structure. I'll copy that to my thing for later. I've got InterPro Scan and ProSite built in. They both pull using the API from the website, so they're cited correctly. So for ProSite, I'll just let everything pop up and I'll search all those databases. So while that searches, I'll show you the structure tab. So the structure tab, I can either pull the PDB from the 3D viewer, load a PDB file locally, or I can search one up. So I'm just going to load from the 3D viewer and I'm going to analyze that structure. So that pulls a very comprehensive set of graphs. Nothing to do with outliers yet. That's coming in a future update. So what we've got is we've got the structure information here, experimental method, resolution, etc., and these sequences. We've then got two graphs. If there's multiple chains, you get a chain size comparison and atoms per chain. You get an amino acid distribution graph. I know it's slightly cropped here. That's something I'm going to fix after I've released this version. It's laid out nicely. I've got secondary structure distribution here, and I've got a Ramachandran plot, which is implemented using the Ramacan draw Python library. That is linked in the README file if you want to go and read into that. It's very interesting, and it brings out a very nice looking file. As well as this, I've got all the different residues with their fine psi values there. Geometric properties, bond geometry, and B-factor analysis as well. So what you can do is you can export these results. You can export them into multiple different formats. So I'm going to include all the details. It'll be an absolutely huge file, just so you can get a view of what the graphs look like. I'll do HTML. I know that's not ideal, but if you want the data, there's other versions as well, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm just going to save that to the project source, and then you export that. It takes a few seconds. It might pop up not responding for me. It will do, because it's drawing the graphs and it's a little bit awkward. But there we go. That's another bug. Mainly, I think it's because I'm running this in a virtual environment. It's a little bit dodgy. So if I go into there we go. We get the structural analysis report. It's not incredibly detailed. The actual detail is coming in, and I'm going to have them all separated into different tabs so you can pick and choose exactly what you want to look up. It gives you the residues per chain, the atoms per chain. These are all pulled from the metadata of the file. Your amino acid composition graph, a little bit rough there, but if you need the actual percentages, etc., they're also in this table here. This is a limitation with matdraw. Matplotlib is very hard to undo, so I'm going to keep working on it. Secondary structure distribution comes up as one. You get the Ramachandran plot for the PDB file there, and then you get all the Ramachandran data, including find psi, for every single residue. If you pick that, and you get all the B factor and bond length and bond angle distributions as well for all the residues in the backbone. It's a little bit daunting in this format. So as well as this, I'll also export it. It's got CSV XL, JSON. I'll do a text report just because it's easier to see here, and I'll include it all. Pick my output file, I'll export that. Doesn't take half as long with text because it's not drawing the graphs. Where did I put that? I think I closed it. So let me just list that directory. And it prints out a structural analysis report. With basically everything that you saw before, but in a format that's easy to read, easy to parse through, etc. And I would argue that the Excel and CSV files are even better for that. Yep, InterPro should have gone through. So as you can see, you get a full InterPro scan. Using InterPro, you can view that on the website if you wish. And it comes out with all the groups and all the other ones, including PFAM. ProSite is also included in the InterPro, but I keep that as its own separate thing, just for ease of use. And you've got superfamilies, all the ontology terms, all the pathways. And what you can do, another thing I'm very proud of, is you can do that motif. You can export it as a HTML. And that comes out as a nice formatted HTML file with all your different sites on it for you to use at your pleasure. As well as this, we've got the Blast as well, that still works. Sequence analysis, so the basic sequence analysis. Load that from the current structure there. That still works. And in show PD, yeah, so I've shown you that already, ignore me. So in the future, I'm planning on adding a plasmid vector viewer, similar to that of SnapGene, but open source and free, using my own tools. I'm planning on adding primer design tools. I'm planning on adding an RNA structure predictor. I'm planning on adding, especially for proteins, advanced Ramachandran data. So any outliers, and I want that to be accurate, I might do a more probity integration actually. And surface analysis, cavity working, binding dynamic predictions, and binding site predictions as well. As well as this, I'm going to make the viewer a lot more comprehensive, although I am quite pleased at the moment it works what I want it to do. So That's my update on PicoMol. I'm going to push the release in the next few days. Whether it's for students who are struggling to navigate the very complicated websites and don't have the infrastructure to run their own tests on local hardware, or researchers who just want to bang out a quick scan just to check if their predictions are right, but not in a fully comprehensive way yet. I hope people can find use with PicoMol. Thank you very much.